Talk to me about the conditions there. What was your experience like being interrogated by the KGB?
Well, is he being held in Lefortovo prison? Answer yes?
Yes, he is.
Okay, well, I was treated in prison perfectly decently. I think the American embassy was afraid that poison would be used against me. Nothing like that occurred, as far as I can tell. Because I spoke Russian, I was able to chit-chat with my captors, and sometimes they were quite pleasant and maybe even amusing. If you don't speak Russian, then you don't have that ability. In general, it seems to me I was treated in a sensible way. I was asked at one point if this was in the United States, how would I be handled? And I answered that I'd never been arrested in the United States, so I didn't really know.
So talk to me about the espionage charge, because in recent years, like with Paul Whelan, he's now served 4 years of a very lengthy sentence, because once charged with espionage, 99% of the people get convicted. You got out in 13 days, I think. So even during the Cold War, there was a better relationship than there is now when we supposedly have relations with Russia.
Well, that's probably right. And when you had the relationship between the United States and Russia during the Cold War, there was a sense that there is mutuality in all of this. And that is to say that if I am badly treated, then a Russian who gets arrested by the United States will be badly treated. And the verse is also true. If you're well treated, then the Russian who is arrested tends to be treated in a more humane fashion.
One of the things that becomes clear lately is that, according to the U.S. government, people are just being grabbed on the street, off the street, Americans, as chips, as bargaining chips to get Russians out, that they want out of custody, and that this policy, really raises the stakes. Does that seem apparent to you as well?
That may well be, but what I don't know today is what Russians are being held by the United States who would like to be at liberty.
And they claim here that they have no Russians in custody, but that the Russians are looking for people from other countries. We know that they were trying to get a Russian assassin, convicted assassin from Germany, in exchange for Brittany Griner and Paul Whelan, and that was refused by everyone because the U.S. had no control over that person. One of the other things that seems to be going on here also is grabbing Gershkovich, who, like you, was ethnically Russian. His parents were from Russia, or one of the border countries there, and he spoke Russian. Your grandfather was a Russian hero, I believe, in the war. And you were fluent in Russian.
Yeah, that's true. And speaking Russian, I would say, is an advantage because you are able to have a more human relationship with your captors.
And what would be your message in support of Evan Gershkovich, who is, by all accounts, an extraordinary correspondent and has been wrongfully detained? He's not a spy.
Well, I think the thing that troubles you at first, and maybe even longer than at first, is have I been forgotten? And hopefully he has not been forgotten. In my case, I had visits from my wife, who told me what the situation was in the United States. And in fact, in my case, there seemed to be a lot of popular protest against the arrest. There was also resolutions passed by the House of Representatives, and I believe the Senate as well, condemning the fact that I had been arrested.
And he's been completely cut off. Nicholas Danilov, thank you so very much.